All right, what's going on, math superstars? It's Eric here again. And what I want to do today is go over a couple of things in terms of logarithms. I know a couple of you have been probably going through this if you're in Algebra 2 or integrated type of math. And as a result, it may be something that could be confusing you. And I want to make sure we go through this so that you have an idea of what's going on. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, logarithms. You'll see that, and you'll see it being represented with the letters log, or actually also ln, all right? What is a logarithm? A logarithm, I want you to understand, is the way we solve for exponents, okay? For exponents. The way I would categorize this, if I were you, is that you've got Algebra 1, which is your x to the first power, right, and y to the first power. You have Algebra 2, which is x and your y to the second power, okay? So you can imagine what Algebra 3 would be. Algebra 3 is when you have x or you have y to the third power, right? So, and that's pretty straightforward. You also have trigonometry, which is going to be your sine, cosine, tangent, the ratios of your triangles to the sides, right? And also you'll have a geometry type of class as well, which is just all shapes. Then what you end up is this Precalc, and oftentimes it might be some sort of advanced form of math. What you got to understand now is that instead of you now have these values that are on the numerator, right? Because you can imagine it's x over 1 in those situations with a power that we're dealing with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or we learn 1, we learn 2s and 3s, and then we understand that things kind of alternate when we get bigger. But that's what Precalc does. Precalc is anything where the numbers are bigger for that. So you would have, 4, 5, 6, and you could also imagine we now actually want to solve for the x. So for example, we know 2, right? 2 to the first power here is going to be 2, right? 2 to the second power is going to be 4. But what would give us 3, right? It's in between these two, and it's not going to be exactly 1.5 to give us a number in between. So that's where our logarithms come in, because now we're going to rearrange this equation, our exponent equation, and we're now going to solve for that power, okay? So let me do this here. We're just gonna, right here, what we're gonna do is we're going to go over the basic formula that you should understand, and I want you guys to learn and practice rewriting this, okay? So log base b, okay? So what ends up happening is you have this b that is floating, or not floating, but like sitting underneath, okay? It's not a denominator, keep in mind. It's right next to this log. It's right here, log b, okay? What that stands for is that's the base. It's sitting underneath because it's ultimately usually underneath the values that we're talking about, okay? So log of b, okay, we're gonna say of c is equal to a, right? Now, base, here's how we look at this, and here's how we change this around. There's this circular format for it. So when you see this logarithm, it's going to be b to the power of a. It's not b to the power of c, right? That'd be too easy. We're not doing that. It would be b to the power of a. So b to the power of a is equal to c, okay? So how would this look? Well, if we're taking this equation right here, right? Let's say we're taking this one. 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4, okay? So let's go ahead and replace these, right? A is 2, B is 2, C is 4, and we can plug this into our equation up here. So log base, this is a 2, base 2 of 4, because that's the C, is equal to 2. So 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. So how would I change these numbers if I wanted to switch things up a little bit? Well, let's take a look here. Let's say I wanted 2 to the 3, right? That's multiplying again by another 2, and that would give me an 8 over here, okay? What that would do is this would turn into an 8, this would turn into an 8, and the a here, the 2, right? 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 8. So do you see how that works? Okay. So let me clear this off and give you guys one clean sheet here. Log, and let's do this real quick. I'm gonna actually mess around with these letters a little bit. N equals O, M, okay? And we're gonna say log base B again. So let's rewrite this. What is this in terms? So this is a log format. What's our exponent format? We should learn and be able to go back and forth from the two. Well, here we would show that log base B, right? So base B to the power of M is equal to N. In addition, if we go backwards, so A to the power of B is equal to C. So notice right now the base is no longer B here, it's an A. What do? We go log A to the power of B is equal to C. So log of A, right? And notice this, oftentimes you'll be setting this equal to X, right? You'll be solving for a value, looking for X. And that's ultimately figuring out what that power would be, okay? So just like earlier, if I had log and I was looking for 2 to what power would give me 3? And this is actually something it's hard for us to calculate, with our head here. We would actually need to use a calculator in these situations to help us estimate and get those decimals, okay? Well, that's all I really wanted to give you guys today for logarithms. We'll go through the properties of logarithms later through the week. There's addition, subtraction, which ultimately is multiplication and division. You got to keep in mind, there's levels to the way that we do our mathematics, and they're linked together, okay? So addition of logarithms can turn into a multiplication combination, and subtractions can turn into divisions. But keep in mind, these situations are now based upon the properties of what exponents do when we combine exponents and add them together and things like that. Hope that was useful, you guys. Keep going at it, you guys. The math superstars, we're here to train. I want you guys to understand, if you do have questions, we're here to help. Exclusive Tutoring San Diego. We are very accessible online for you guys. So if you have math problems and would like some help, please let us know. We're here to get that going. All right. Have a great rest of your day.